Hello guys, here we are with the second part of the topic determiners. We have already done the first part in which we discussed the first category of determiners, and that was articles. In articles we read about the articles are of two types, especially definite and indefinite. Definite is the, and the indefinite are and an. Is used before the word starting with the consonant sound, and an is used before the words starting with the vowel sound, and other conditions were also there which we have studied in the previous video. Now we are here with the other determiners, other 5 categories of determiners. Before starting with the video, I would just like to remind you that those who are new, please do not forget to subscribe for the channel. Okay, now let's have a quick recap of what are determiners, and one we already have discussed, and the further we'll discuss here. Okay, now what are the determiners? Determiners are the words that precede and modify noun. Okay, and sometimes they tell us how many, how much. They do not describe noun. That is the thing to remember, that they do not describe noun. They determine it or point it out. That will help us to determine the determiners in case of pronouns. When they are correlated with pronouns, they are create confusion with pronouns or with the adjectives. Okay, so here let us start with the second category of determiners, and that are demonstratives. Now, demonstratives. What are demonstratives? The words this, that, these, those, these are specially called as demonstratives because they specially point out, they show a particular they show the noun. Okay, they point out at the noun. That is why they are called as demonstratives. Okay, they demonstrate it, show it. Okay, so this, that, these and those are known as demonstratives. They point out towards the location of the noun. They tell the location of the noun. Now this and these two words are used for the nouns which are nearer to us. Okay, and that and those are used for those which are far off. Okay, now in that also this is used for a singular noun and these are used for a plural noun. Similarly, that is used for a singular and those is used for plural. So this and these for nearer things, that and those for things which are at a distance from us. Okay, this and that for singular and these and those for plural. Okay, now let us see few examples. This book contains all the activities we need. Now, generally we are confused in demonstratives and determiners as well as pronouns. So here, when we read the example, then here we are given this book contains all the activities we need. Okay, now this book, if we specially see this book, then what do we see? That this is followed by a noun. But generally in case of pronoun, it is not like that. When we are using this as a pronoun, then it is not followed by a noun. It replaces noun. It is not followed by a noun. Okay, so here this book contains all the activities we need. That means we are specially pointing out, we are telling the location of the book, that this is the book which contains all the activities that we need. Similarly, these carnations are for you. So we are pointing out that these carnations are for you. Okay, so these is followed by carnations and that is noun. Okay, so in case of pronouns, it is not like that. Pronoun is not followed by a noun. Okay, it replaces noun. Okay, now let us see the next thing, that and those. When we talk about that and those, then what do we do in that? In that, they here the things are at a distance. These are at a distance. Now when we talk about it, then that is used for a singular noun, and those are used for plural noun. Okay, now let us see the examples. That kite is so beautiful. Again we see that that is followed by a noun. Those apples seem to be ripe. So those is followed by apples. Similarly, this and that can be used before uncountable objects too. Now this and that are specially used in uncountable objects even when they are plural. For example, this news is very crucial for us. So news, it is generally used, whether it is singular or plural, it is used in a plural sense. So it is preceded by this precedes news. Okay, we can't say these news. Okay, this news is very crucial for us. I really like that idea. I really like that idea. So that here is preceding the uncountable noun. We can also say it as abstract noun. Okay, so this and that can be used before uncountable nouns also. Okay, now let us see the next. Demonstrative. Now demonstrative, here I just explained you this thing, the difference between the pronoun and the determiner, but then also here let us just go through it with the help of an example. Now this is a very boring show. Now suppose I am talking about an opera show. Okay, now I went to an opera show. This was a very boring show. Okay, that was a very boring show. Okay, now I already am talking about an opera show, and then I am saying that that was a very boring show. So first I am saying I went to an opera show. So that here is replacing the opera show in the next sentence. That was a very boring show. Here also this is a very boring show. When I am saying, then it is being used as a pronoun because I am not naming the show. Okay, the name has been described previously. Okay, it has been told previously. I am just telling that this is a very boring show. So here it is used as a pronoun. This is not followed by a noun. But when we take the next example, then this show is very boring. This show is very boring. Then here it is used as a determiner. This is determining the show. This is preceded by show. Okay, so here, sorry, show is preceded by this. Yes, correct. So this show is very boring. So here this is used as a determiner. Yes, next is that's a popular hobby. So that's a popular hobby. Maybe I am talking about gardening, or maybe I am talking about cooking. So I love cooking. That's a very popular hobby. So here I am replacing cooking by that. Okay, now when I see the next sentence, that hobby is popular. Okay, so here I am just pointing out at the hobby, that hobby is popular. So here that is being used as a determiner. So that is the difference in the when it is used as a pronoun or as a determiner. Now this is a we are also having an example. This is a very boring show, and when we are talking about as a determiner, Speed Sisters is a very boring show. So when we are talking about Speed Sisters is a very boring show, that means this Speed Sisters is being replaced by this here. So here it is being used as a pronoun. Gardening is a popular hobby. So here that is replacing gardening. So here it is being used as a pronoun, while in the second case it is being used as a determiner. The best and the simplest way to find it out is just see that it is being followed by a noun. When you find out this, then it will be very easy to differentiate between where it is being used as a pronoun or as a determiner. Okay, now let us come to possessive, the next category of determiners, and that is the possessives. Now, what are possessives? Which tell about the possession of the noun, that who possesses the noun. Okay, now here possessive determiners like my, are, your, his, her, its, their express to whom or what something belongs. Okay, so it is telling that this particular noun or thing belongs to whom. For example, my bag, his hat, her mother, your bottle. So again here they are being followed by a noun. My bag, his hat, these are being followed by a noun. So these are possessive determiners. They can be my, they can be my, her, his, like that. But again the case is this is being followed by determiners are followed by noun. But when we take as a pronoun, when it is used as a pronoun, then what happens? It is not followed by a noun. Example, when we use as a possessive determiner, we say that is my cycle, that's my cycle. But when we use it as a possessive pronoun, we say that cycle is mine. So here is the difference, that how a possessive pronoun and possessive determiner is being used. Okay, now when we talk about this possessive pronoun, let us understand it with the help of an example, that how they what is the difference between the two. Okay, there's the shop on the right, theirs is the shop on the right. That means the shop that is on the right is theirs. That is the possessive pronoun that we are using. But possessive determiner when we are using, then what we say, their shop is on the right. Okay, so their shop is on the right, there is being followed by the noun shop. Okay, similarly the next example, if we see, the red wallet is mine, that means I am saying that that red wallet is mine. Okay, so I am just telling about the position of that wallet. But in the next what I am saying, my wallet is red, that means I am determining my wallet, that my wallet is red. Whichever wallets are lying here, among them my wallet is red. Okay, so I am determining the quality of my, the pointing out the thing of my noun. Okay, the dog in the kennel is hers, that means the dog which is in the kennel is hers. That is the possessive pronoun that is being used here. But when I say that her dog is in the kennel, that means I am pointing out that her dog is in the kennel. So this is the possessive determiner. Similarly, Dorothy's house is small but ours is smaller. Our house is smaller than Dorothy. So here I am just determining that what is the this thing quality, or what is determining my house. My house is smaller than Dorothy's house. Yours is the yellow umbrella, and if I say your umbrella is yellow, then I am determining the color of your umbrella. So that is the difference in possessive determiner and possessive pronoun. Now next we come to the distributive. Distributive words are either, neither, each and every. Okay, these are referred as distributive pronouns, distributive determiners. Now how they differentiate? Either may denote two things in a sentence. Okay, either is used when there are two options in the sentence. Okay, any of them, both are equal. Okay, equally likely of being put at a place. Okay, so any of the two things can be chosen. Okay, there we use either. Example, either book can serve my purpose. That means if my friend is having two books, then I can ask her to lend me any one, and any one of them can solve my purpose. Okay, so either book can serve my purpose equally well. Next is, you can take either shirt. That means I am having two shirts and I am giving option to my friend that you can take either shirt, any of them you can take. Okay, so when there are two things and we are giving an option to choose, then that is we are using either. Both the persons or thing mentioned in the sentence are equal there. Okay, now similarly the other examples are, tall buildings have come up on either side of the road. That means on both the sides of the road there are tall buildings. Okay, so there also we are using either, because on both sides of the road there are equally tall buildings standing there. Long stretches of greenery spread on either side of the river. There also either means both are equally likely. Okay, now when we come to the next example, then there is neither. Now neither also refers to the same meaning. Both options which we are given in the sentence, both are equal, but the thing is, here we are using it in the negative sense. There we were using in the positive sense, that either of the book can serve my purpose. Okay, but here neither of the books will serve my purpose. That means I am going in the negative sense, that from the two, none of them will help me. Okay, so the sense is the same, the use is the same, but the sense is just opposite. There we were using positive sense, and here we are using negative sense. Example, neither pair of shoes matches with your outfit. That means none of the shoes will suit on your outfit. Similarly, as a referee, you should take neither side. That means you should not be partial. You should not take the side of any of the teams. Next is each. We use each when we mean things separately, one by one. Okay, in a group, when we are pointing one by one to each to every member, then we use each. Example, each child has a chocolate. When I am saying that pointing out on each member of the group, then I use each. Each child has a chocolate. Each one of you can move out one by one. So one by one, when I am saying, that means every member I am giving the equal importance. Next is every. Every collectively, when I am taking the whole group all together, then I am using every. Example, let's just go through the sentence. We use every when we intend to refer to all things or people in a group without any exception. Example, every child needs attention and care. That means we are not giving importance to any one, or we are not taking one by one. We are giving equal importance to everyone at a time. Every child needs attention and care. Next, every shop in this market has a license. So we are talking about each and every shop equally. Okay, at the same time. The last is the last second, we are having one more, and that is interrogatives, and here we are with quantifiers. Quantifiers point out the quantity of the noun being used. Quantifiers like much, many, some, any, little modify the noun by telling us how many, how much. Okay, now some is mostly used in affirmative sense, and any is used in the negative sense or as an interrogative. Okay, let's see the example that will make the matter clear. There are some sweets in the jar. I need some paper to write on. So they are bringing the positive sense, though the quantity is less, but the positive sense. But when we are talking about Annie, then Annie hasn't made any friends so far. So that is giving a negative sense, that she has made none of the friends. Okay, we completed the exercise without any difficulty. Similarly, did you put any salt in the pudding? Okay, so there we are asking, we are questioning. Okay, so the thing is, any is used in the negative sense or as a interrogative. Okay, now the next, any can be used when we mean to say that the thing is not of that much importance. Okay, it is used when the thing doesn't matter to us. Okay, sometimes any can be used to mean it doesn't matter which one, who, or when. Example, you can give me any pen you can spare. That means it doesn't make any difference to me, you can give me any of them. The club is open, you can come at any time. Okay, so here any means that it doesn't matter which one or whom, you can take any one of them, you can opt for any one of them. Similarly, we are having many. Many is used to indicate a large number. It is used for plural nouns. Much is used for, now many and much, there is only a difference in that both are used for a large quantity, but many is used for countable things and much is used for uncountable things. Okay, it is used in interrogative and negative sense also. So it much is used both in the negative as well as interrogative sense also. Let us see the examples. Now, how much progress have you made. So progress is uncountable noun. So here we are using much. Many children visit the camp every day. So children are countable. We are using many here. There wasn't much ice in the jug. So ice is not countable. We are not talking about the ice cubes. We are talking only about the ice. So ice is not countable. Ice cubes, if it is mentioned, then we can say many there. Okay, how many students are going for the Simpsons movie? So again, students are countable. So we are using many here. Much effort will be required to solve the problem. So effort is uncountable. So we are using much there. But both are used to denote large quantity. One for countable and the other for uncountable. Similarly, little, a little, the little, few, a few, and the few, all are used for determining the quantity, but all are used in different sense. There is very less difference between all these, but if you remember, then it is very easy difference also. Little is used for a sense which denotes not much or hardly any. For example, we have discussed this in our previous videos also in adjectives, but let us go through it further. There is little hope of Tina's success. That means there is hardly any hope of Tina's success. When we use a little, then we use it in the sense of at least some. Okay, there we were using in hardly any sense, and here we are using it at least some hope is there. Okay, we have a little money left with us, we can buy an extra cheese pizza. Okay, so a little means some, little means hardly any, and the little means the little quantity which we have, but the whole amount. Okay, little but the whole gives is used is the sense which the little makes. Okay, so the whole quantity but very little. Example, Robin refused to have the little rice that was served to him. That means a little rice was served to him, but for that also Robin refused. So the little is used in the sense of completeness. Okay, the quantity is less, but that also completely is referred, then we use the little. So little makes a sense of hardly any, a little makes of some, and the little makes of the complete thing, whatever it is, the complete thing. Similarly, the thing is with few. Few makes the same sense, not much, almost none. Okay, that means hardly none. Again, few makes a few makes a sense of some, and the few makes the sense of all. The little but all. Okay, the only difference is little is used for uncountable things and few is used for countable things. Let's see the example. Few children were unwell. Now where we were using little was being used for hope, and hope is uncountable, but here we are using few, then few children are countable. Children are countable here, so we are using few for it. Next example, last week I went to watch Ratatouille with a few friends. So again, friends are countable here. Next is all of them. The few trees left on the hillside don't bear any fruit. So again, trees are countable here, and we are talking about all the trees. There are very less number of trees, but they also do not bear any fruit. So here we are talking about some, few, but the whole quantity. Okay, now graded quantifiers. There are some graded quantifiers also, like many, more, most, like positive, comparative, and superlative. So where are they used? Some quantifiers are like comparatives and hold a relative position on the scale of increase or decrease. Thus they are referred as graded. As I told, that positive, comparative, superlative, like that, either they go on increasing or they go on decreasing. So they are used on increase scale or decrease scale. On increase scale, there are many, more, most, or much, more, most. So for many and for much, both we are using comparative as more or most, and the same thing is here also for few and little. For few, here we are using few, fewer, fewest, little, less, least. Okay, so let us learn through examples how they are being used. There are many people living in urban areas, more in towns but most in cities. So there are many people living in the urban areas, there are many in the urban areas, but comparatively there are more in towns and most are in cities, means highest quantity is in the cities. There are many in the urban areas, more than that are in the towns, and most means the largest quantity is in the cities. Similarly, with all his time spent in the office, he has little time for his family. The little time he has for his family, less than that, that means least for himself. That means little time he spends for his family, and less than that also he spends on himself. So these were graded quantifiers. What, which, now comes the interrogatives. What, which, whose, how much are interrogatives. They point out, they determine, they ask question about the quantity of the noun. Okay, they can be used before any kind of noun and help ask question about it. They are very easy ones. Let's go through the examples. Which book you are looking for? We are pointing about, we are determining, we are finding out that which particular book she is looking for. Whose bat is this? That means we are asking question about the bat. We are trying to determine that the bat belongs to whom, which basket is yours. So similarly here also they are interrogative determiners. Okay, now here the topic determiners completes here. We have discussed all types of determiners, the possessive, demonstrative, interrogative and quantifiers. All we have discussed. The articles we have discussed in the previous video. So I hope the topic is very much clear to you and there won't be any kind of confusion now onwards. So if still there are some queries, you can mention it in the comment box. Thanks for watching.